I am Dougie Morgan. I'm the operations manager for Fighting with Pride, which is an LGBT plus military charity, and we support veterans who are LGBT. I did suffer with my mental health. However, I'm here now in a much better place through the support and guidance of others. And there's 2 points in my life when I realised that I was struggling with my mental health. One when I was in my teens, because I wasn't the same as everyone, and I was wondering why I wasn't the same. And people, I'll use the word bullying, but verbal bullying and name calling. And I was always brought up that sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never harm you. But that is far from the truth. So I struggled to see who I was when I was 14 years of age. And I just blanked that out, to be honest. But I knew that I was different. And then the next big point with my mental health was only 14 years ago. So that was in my late 40s, when I was about 49. And I realised that my mental health was really suffering because of my personal life, my drinking, and my habits. My day-to-day routine was not the same. I didn't feel like getting up. I was very down. I was depressed. But this is me self-diagnosing. I just wouldn't go to any GP at this point because I didn't want anyone to know what I was going through. I didn't feel it was fair on anyone else to be burdened with them. And I thought because I'd got my way through 30 odd years in the army, that I'd be able to get through this stage of my life. Unfortunately, it did hit me very bad. And the outcome was I didn't want to be here anymore. Alcohol was a huge effect on my mental health. And there was just one night, around about December 2009, around about the 15th of December, because everyone was going to leave and I was going to be left in a flat on my own that wasn't mine. I'd left family accommodation and I was drinking really heavily. And I went out and bought a bottle of whiskey. I sat in the room with tablets and 2 boxes of tablets, and I just decided that life without me for others would be better. And I was online. I was exploring who I was, which was having a huge effect on my mental state. I was taking chances, I was taking risks, and I knew it wasn't me. And I got a message out of the blue on my phone saying, "Dougie, you okay? We've not heard from you for a wee while." It was one of my colleagues who I used to serve with. And he said, "I'm just reaching out to you because I'm not heard from you for a while. And I know what's went through in your personal life. I know you'll be on your own." And he said, "If you need to speak, please give me a ring." And I never. And I knew I should have. And my phone went again. And it was the same person again. And this time, he made me pick up the phone. And he made me phone Samaritans. My friend stayed at least a good 25 minutes away from me. This is on the 15th of December, cold, dark, snowing. And he came through. I get a wee bit sentimental about this. But he did. He came through and tapped on the door where I was living and came in and sat with me for a good couple of hours, where he left a number for Samaritans to phone. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here talking to you just now. And I realised that I had a reason to be here, but I needed someone to tell me that. And no one throughout my whole life told me, that don't worry about what's going on in your personal life. Don't worry about your sexuality. Because by this time I was leading my life as a gay male. I sat till 4 o'clock maybe 4:30, 4:45 in the morning on the phone to Samaritans. And all I know was it was a female. And I would guess, and I know you're not going to guess, I would guess it was an elderly female. And she never said more than, I don't know, 20 or 30 words in the 3 or 4 hours. But I knew she was listening to me, because she just says, tell me your story. Speak about what's bothering you. She never once judged me on drink or the drugs or my sexuality. Didn't even come into it. I just knew there was someone there listening to me, and I was able to get everything out of my system, get off my chest. And I went all the way back to when I was a child, being brought up, losing my young brother to suicide when he was only 21, and losing my father to a massive heart attack when he was 42, and my 2 court marshals in the army. And I realised that no one at that time even asked me, why are you drinking so much, Dougie? Why are you struggling? But this elderly female was on the other end of the phone, just hearing, yep, I'm still here. Tell me about it. But when someone is really struggling like me, it's really important to hear someone else saying, speaking to you, getting you to offload everything. I think speaking about your issues, I was always told that a problem shared is a problem halved. And I get a lot out of speaking about my personal journey, but I get more knowing that someone's listening to me. So I think it's very important for anyone, no matter what stage of their life, whether they're young, middle-aged or old, speak to someone. I've learned, this is living experience here, that I've learned that for me to speak to someone, but more importantly, someone's listening to me, and they understand, they can empathise with me. They might not have lived the experience, the journey I've went through, but just having someone there to listen and for me to speak my journey means so much to me. It saved me. I'm full of tattoos, and one of my tattoos on my back is, no one will judge me. And I don't judge anyone, because everyone's got their own story, and everyone's story is very important to them. Right? So who am I to judge anyone? And because of my sexuality, I was going through quite a lot in my mental health, because a lot of people don't understand what it's like to be part of a minority group, how it affects your mental health. Because I was always told, just get on with it. Just move on, you'll be fine. And that's not the way it is, unfortunately, because your mind doesn't work that way. You need to be supported. You need someone to listen to you. You need to tell your story, because telling your story is going to help so many different other people who might be going through the same journey as you, okay, or will be struggling with their own mental health. Masculinity is absolutely huge, okay? Men are very proud. And then in my age group, I was man of the house, man up, get on with it, pick yourself up, move on. There was nothing about sexuality in the 60s or 70s. There was no role models in television. There was no role models in radio. You didn't know of anyone who was gay. So it was just never spoken. The language was not spoken to about. Part of my therapy was getting tattoos. Pain, okay, whether it's mental pain or physical pain, helped me. So there's not one part of my body does not have a bit of ink on it. And that really helped my therapy as well. I've got a full back tattoo which tells my whole story, which is part of my mental health. So what I'm trying to do is to tell people it's okay to be yourself. The road's not smooth. Okay, there's loads potholes in this road that you're going to go through, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I lived experiences myself, who's went through a lot, and been really down, depressed, low self-esteem, not feeling wanted, and manage to get through it by talking and by people listening and having the great support around you. And when I was thinking about taking my own life by suicide, okay, and when I didn't, that enabled me to be myself. My mind cleared at a point when I knew that I was going to be more use and help being here than not being here. My mind mists over quite a lot when I'm not able to talk to people or able to help people. So I'm an enabler. I go out there to help people. I really do. I look for people to help. I source them, okay, because I know they're frightened sometimes to reach out and ask for help. And I'm talking about from, once again, any age. I work with a lot of organisations who deal with mental health challenges, I call them. I don't like the word issues. I think they're mental health challenges, because I think challenges can be overcome. Because I overcame my challenge, and I respect people who find it difficult to talk, because it's not everyone's cup of tea to be able to go out there and tell their story. But I want to do that because that's my coping mechanism, is by talking. I could sit here for days and tell you my story. And if it helps one person, and even those who are really, really struggling to cope with their mental health, there is help out there. There really is. So if you're struggling with your sexuality, if you're lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or plus, I think that really affects your mental health, because a lot of people don't understand that. You don't have people who have got that lived experience, okay? So if you're a heterosexual woman or heterosexual man, you don't know what it's like to live as an LGBT member of that community. You struggle to feel safe. So when I even have to jump on a train, I've got to be very wary of who I am and of what I'm doing. I've been homophobically, verbally assaulted and physically assaulted as well, for being who I am, just for loving someone. So of course it's going to affect your mental health. You know, when I'm talking about when my mind clears, I'm in a great place. But then when it mists over, if I hear someone using inappropriate language, that affects my mental health. I'll go back and use that phrase again: sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never harm you. Can never be far from the truth. Names will stick with you for all your life. You break a bone, you break a leg, that can be fixed. But your mental health is so important. Well, I was Dougie Graham, and I'm now Dougie Morgan. Dougie Graham was not Dougie Morgan. Okay, and Dougie Morgan was certainly not Dougie Graham. I hated Dougie Graham, because I had to mask, I had to tell so many lies. I had to, lie to my family, which was the worst thing. My mum, and I had to rebuild relationships. I had to rebuild friends. I had to rebuild everything in my life. But you know what? You never see me without a smile now, because I am allowed to be myself to an extent. Scotland's a great country to be brought up in if you're part of a minority community. But we've still got a long way to go. We really have. I'd love to be able to walk down the street hand in hand with Graham. But I know that's not accepted by a lot of people. It's just, I think we'll get there. But it's so long. I don't think you'll see it in my lifetime. I wish we did. I've been with Graham now for 14 years. We've been married for 8 years. We have got a great partnership, relationship going. He allows me to be myself. He allows me to do things that I want to do. But we also do so much together. I try and involve Graham as much as I can into my professional life. So if there's an event going on, or I'm going to a school, or I'm going to a social group to speak about my experience, I'll try and get Graham along with me, because it's so important that you have someone who understands what you're going through, because there are days when I'm talking about my journey, my life, that I get very sentimental, and I can get very teary as well. But if I look at the sidelines and see Graham there, I pep myself back up. So my coping mechanisms at the moment is working for me, okay, because I know how to use them. As life goes on and we get older and I go into retirement, I still rely on groups of my friends, like my golf tour that I organise every year. I need them still to message me on my WhatsApp group. Communication's vital. If I don't get that, not every day, not every week even sometimes, just someone just contacting me and just saying, Dougie, you're looking after all these veterans and that. Who's looking after you? How are you coping? It's just a simple question like that. How are you doing today, Dougie? I don't like to impart it on Graham because she's the closest person to me, because sometimes they're not the best people to put your problems onto. Because I know he's been in his hair salon 12 hours listening to other people's problems, but he's a great listener, and I know if I've got any problems, I can speak to Graham about it. And I'm very open, I'm transparent, and I'm an open book. I don't hide anything anymore, you know what I mean? And that keeps my mind clear, knowing that someone out there is thinking about me.